drop back, and he heaves it up like Kate Upton's huge movie.
Yo, today is part 2 of my 2-part series about cheesing versus playing straight up. So what I did on this second video is, the first video is I played somebody and I just totally cheesed them. I used the Niners. I went for it on 4th down all the time. I kicked onside kicks. So in this game, I play the opponent straight up. So the rules are, in the second part, is can't go for it on 4th unless you're on the 35 and in, and it has to be less than 4 yards. Second is no max cover on defense. You have to play straight up. Essentially, you can't drop linemen into coverage if you're, say, in a 2-man under or in a max zone. And that actually ends up really hurting me in this game. I don't want to say that max coverage is a crutch, but you know, it does have some value. No nano blitzes where you set up or move linemen. I think those are essentially cheesy. And on my offensive scheme, you can't do nothing but money plays. And here, this guy was a pretty good defender. He defended that wheel route pretty much perfectly. I haven't seen anybody do that. So I understand that this guy pretty quickly is more advanced than me. And he had a pretty cheesy offense, pretty cheesy defense. Not horrible, but here I get the interception back. So, oh, and last rule is you got to pick your favorite team. Now, if your favorite team happens to be the Niners, good for you. That's great, but I want to see, when you're playing with teams that, the Niners are 95% of the games that you're playing with. It's not, I had a comment on my last video saying, are the Niners cheese? In some ways, yes. If you play a lot of ranked games, the Niners are cheesy. But if they are your favorite team, I can't blame you. A lot of people got on, at the beginning of the year, the Giants were ranked pretty high, So I'm not going to say much about your preference of team, but the Niners do get some cheesy things happening here. So I'm down 7-0, and I'm driving. I'm trying to get in that end zone to tie it up. I already made a mistake, but there I hit the skinny post for a touchdown, which is a money play. But offense, to not be cheesy, it's hard. What are you gonna do? No hot routes. You might as well just do game flow then. So in terms of trying to cut down cheese on offense, I didn't want to do any plays that I consider to be cheesy, and he was killing me this whole time with those streaks, those fade route streaks to the inside. And here he goes up 14-7. So it's not fun to play from behind, especially when you're using straight up rules where you can't go for it on 4th down and you can't onside kick. But that's not something that I do normally, is onside kick. Oh yeah, for onside kicks, you can onside kick, but you have to be down 2 scores with 2 minutes to go. But that really doesn't apply here. Here I'm down, I get down deep, a 3rd and 22, but thankfully here I convert on a 3rd and 22, so I don't have to punt it away. Had I not converted there, if it would have been 4th and inches, I would have had to punt it. And here on the draw play, I just run a straight angle route to the corner, and we're all tied up. So playing straight up seems to be working in this situation. But one thing I could not do is I could not stop him on defense. Not using max coverage, not sending nanos. I dropped a couple interceptions. I was holding ball hawk. I was pressing ball hawk like a dude on Jeopardy trying to answer the question. When he's buzzing too early, he's just hitting the buzzer. I'm just sitting there holding ball hawk like intercept damn ball, but didn't happen. And he was killing me with draws up the middle because he's throwing to the outside. He's throwing streaks a lot, and I was trying to zone that up. And then when you zone that up, they run it inside. And one thing that I did notice with the Niners is there were a couple times where I did an outside zone, and here was a huge turning point in the game because Bennett misses a wide open. I mean, he would have been to the house there, and I called a play, and oh man, I went to my check down and I did not see the defender. And now he has a 2-possession lead, and he puts his nuts on the field. And that was crucial. That was a crucial swing because Bennett would have been gone for the touchdown there. He was clear wide open on the streak. And now, the half ended in garbage time, and I'm down 2 scores, and it's really hard to catch up when you're not going to onside kick and you're not using a cheesy max coverage defense, which results in a lot of turnovers. But still, to his credit, you know, he probably would have been smart enough to beat Max D. But, you know, playing straight up, you know, I do get back into the game. I get a touchdown, right? Not here, but I think on the next play, I'll finally punch it in with Ahmad Bradshaw. So, you know, it was hard to catch up. You know, he kept doing these draws up the middle, and like I said, with the Niners, I was getting block sheds and stopping those, even though the play was called zones to the outside, you know, to try to take away these curls, the curls that the opponent was doing. And that streak, just that inside streak pass lead on the fade route, just killed me. I just really didn't have an answer for it. I should have, you know, maybe thrown up a yellow or something to keep that from happening. But, you know, some plays are very hard to defend in Madden, and he read them correctly. And here, you know, I'm trying to get close to make this an interesting game, but that touchdown before the end of the half really just was the difference in this game. And here, this is what ticked me off, is I redirect Cruz, who has excellent route running, and I pass led to the outside, and I might have thrown it a little early, but when I slow down the frames, the ball jumps like 2 feet over to the left and into the defender's arms during the play. So I do give up the interception, but, you know, Corey Webster gets one back for me, but it cost me time. It really did. You know, for him to have that possession up with the lead, and, you know, here I try to play action, but he didn't blitz. You know, I'm working on a new scheme, and in fact, this afternoon I'll probably throw up my, that was a horrible throw, throw up my doubles weak scheme for an offense here, and I think I hit the skinny. Yep, Victor Cruz gets it, which is a money play. It's kind of cheesy, but, you know, when somebody's running he was running a max cover defense there, should have been a touchdown as well. A lot, you know, look, well, not there, but here I hit him with the inside streak, and I think Bradshaw gets in for his third touchdown right here. So to his credit, you know, I should have been able to stop him, but what a cheese, you know, what is something, well, I wouldn't call it cheesy. You know, he's smart. He wants to kill the clock, and I get him down 3rd and 10. I think, oh, he does go for it a couple times. This should have been ball hawked. But 2 times in this game he goes for it on 4th down and gets it, which, you know, is against the straight up rules that I've set for myself. So maybe it would have been a more interesting game had he not gone for it, but that's why people go for it on 4th, is because they get it. They get it all the time. And he kept killing me with these draws, and now he's basically in field goal range. He's not going to kick it. He's just going to run the ball, and, you know, I went into pass D because I needed him to pass it to try to force a turnover. So, you know, if I give up the draws in the middle, so be it. You know, I was hoping that he would do something dumb. And here with 22 seconds left, he basically runs out the clock and kicks the field goal. So that's the end of the game. The guy was way better than me, and this kind of proves that, you know, maybe cheesing does have its value. You know, I played this guy straight up, and I lost by, you know, 10 points. So you do what you want with that information, but you see 2 games, one I won and one I lost. So I played an honorable way, and I didn't pick up any skill points. So thanks for watching my video. 5 points